G'day. So, as promised, one of the things with the new van, we have promised some of our followers that we'll run through our Starlink for you and how I've set up Starlink in this van. So, Starlink in this van, the first thing is the storage. We use our pantry cupboard for Starlink. We store it in its bag. We store it with the ground frame up here, and it travels on anti-slip, and it doesn't move. It's great. So I just take it out for you. It comes straight out of the cupboard. And importantly, we have a bag around it. And the reason we have the bag around it is because if you store these incorrectly, they will and can break. So you have to look after them. So there's your Starlink, stored in the cupboard. We have our dish, and pretty soon we'll go outside. But before we do, let me just quickly explain to you inside what we've done. So we've mounted this small bracket onto the wall here for a bit of tea and a bit of coffee and a little bit of aesthetics, as I'm told. I got to water the plants. Not really, they're plastic. Our router is here. So the cables for the router are underneath it. It plugs in underneath. We've got 240 volt power, and the lead that goes to the dish runs down through here. I've cut it through the top of the kitchen bench top, and I've run the cable straight down, and I've taken it out the bottom of the van, and I've run it underneath the van and out to the back. And I'll show you out the back what we've done. I'll also show you the reason why out the back we do not need the ground frame at this point in time. So we'll duck outside and I'll show you the setup. So here we are around the back. Now I've brought the dish out, and I have fabricated onto the back of the bumper bar of the van, I've fabricated a lightweight 60mm aluminium pole. Now I've used 60mm pole because that size will fit the pipe holder for the dish, and I've used aluminium plate on the back. So I'll show you from how we start. The very first thing we do is we have to plug our dish in, and I've put a couple of Chaos boxes on the back, and this box holds the bulk of the cable. So if I want to pull out just enough cable to use this on the pole, I do. And if for some reason we are parked under a tree or somewhere where it's not conducive to use the aluminium pole, we have to get the dish out so it can pick up a satellite, I've got about 30 metres of cable in here that I can just run straight out. I can put it on the ground frame that you notice we kept inside with the dish, mount it there, run the cable out, and it's the same deal. But I'll show you. I pull this out here, plugs in, and those of you who got Starlink will know, plugs in here. We come up here to the end. This is the pipe fitting that you get from the Starlink store, and we go in and it clips like that. I've just got a couple of bungee cords holding this on. So I just undo the bungee cord. I take out the keeper bolt, which goes through the plate here. This is just attached to the rear bar. This is the keeper plate. Well, this is the keeper plate, and then I just simply lift this up into position, And there we are. Put the bolt back in the bottom here, and the bolt will just go through here and put the wing nut back on the bolt. I'm all thumbs today. Tighten him up. Now, this cable I just leave here. I actually just put it through a cable tie just to keep it nice and thin. Then I put it back in the chaos box here. Okay, I've just got a little bit of foam there so it doesn't pinch, and I've cut the side out of the box. I close the box, bang, clip it down, and that's Starlink. That's what I've built to hold the Starlink. Now, obviously, I'll go inside now and just simply turn it on. It's always powered up, or it's always plugged in. I'll just turn it on and you'll see what happens. Okay, so I've turned it on inside. I've just powered up the router inside. I brought my phone out with my app. I don't need to do any more. Starlink will now do everything. So in a minute, you will see that it will flatten out. Okay, so it's flattened out now, and now what it's doing, it will search now for a satellite. Once it acquires a satellite, it will again move, and it'll then boot up, and we're then online. So that's really all you have to do. If you've got any questions about what I've done with it, or how I've built it, or the types of material, I'm happy to run you through it again. It's all aluminium. The whole thing only weighs a couple of kilos. It bolts quite simply onto the back of any size bar. You only need it a little bit wider than the 63 mil or the 60 mil of the aluminium. And there you go, you got Starlink.